Alrighty guys, we're back for some menacing Rakdos, and this is a Lost Caverns of Ixalan standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. Check out our menacing creatures. We got Stalactite Stalker. Did I pronounce it right this time, guys? It's a 1-mana 1/1 with menace at the beginning of your end step. If you descended this turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on Stalactite Stalker. Then for 2 and a black, you can sacrifice this. Target creature gets -X/-X until end of turn, where X is Stalactite Stalker's power. Cool, man. Pretty solid creature, I'd say. I love that it has menace, but I also love that it can double as removal too, because I tend to not play with enough removal, but I love creatures. So hey, you know, if I can have both on the same card, that's good enough for me. Got Goldhound in here as a 4/2, 1 mana, 1/1 first strike menace, and then you can tap it, sack it, add 1 mana of any color. Dude, this is a pretty strong creature. It makes me a little sad that we never get to see Goldhound anywhere. Rockin' Kumano faces Kakkazan in here because we do have a small +1/+1 counter theme, but also I'm like running into a lot of Liliana and stuff too. Kumano's a great way to get rid of Liliana right after they drop like the -2 ability and stuff as well. Just terrific creatures to run out on turn 2 after a turn 1 Kumano in here too, so that's why Kumano's in here. We got Ayara's Oathsworn. Okay, yeah, turn 1 Kumano into a turn 2 Ayara's Oathsworn. Sounds really good. It's a 2 mana, 2/2 human knight. Last time we played with this, it was actually in the knight build, I believe, and it was pretty darn good, man. So this is a menacing creature, of course. And whenever Ayara's Oathsworn deals combat damage to a player, if it has fewer than 4 +1/+1 counters on it, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. Then if it has exactly 4 on it, search your library for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle, because why not, right? Yeah, pretty cool, man. Yeah, you get the ball rolling with the extra counters with the Kumano. Then you get that extra card out of your build a little bit sooner. Just searching your deck for anything, I tell you what, man, that goes a long way. Blade of the Oni. This is a 2 mana, 3/1 menace. Equipped creature has base power and toughness 5/5. It has menace, and it's a black demon in addition to its other colors and types. The reconfigure cost is 2 and double black, so a little bit steep. But I'll tell you what, if you got that 4 mana and you have nothing else to do for the turn, that is pretty decent. Slapping that onto something simple, like a Goldhound. Goldhound's now a 5/5. Now, it already had menace, but it also has that first strike too, so yeah, you never know. And then if the opponent drops like a Sunfall or something, then they reconfigure. Of course, like we know this from Rabbit Battery, how good that can actually be and how sustainable that can be, as your creatures that these are equipped to get removed, and then you still have these creatures left over. So yeah, really neat. I like Blade of the Oni. We don't get to see this one very often either. Invasion of Azgol. I guess the whole deck is just cards we don't get to see very often. This is a 2 mana Battle Siege. 4 defense counters on it. When it ETBs, target player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker and loses 1 life. Yeah, nice. So, removal. And then if you ever do get rid of the defense counters on here, which I think we want to sometimes in this build for sure, it flips into Ashen Reaper. It's a 2/1 with menace, and at the beginning of your end step, you put a +1/+1 counter on Ashen Reaper if a permanent was put into the graveyard from the battlefield this turn, which is pretty easy, especially if you're swinging in every turn anyways. There's a lot of chump blockers all the time, and it doesn't say like a permanent you control, it's just like in general. And if it was a permanent you control too, then that works with like the Stalactite Stalkers, like the descend ability, so that's neat, right? So if things die on your board, you're getting buffs, which is awesome. Do have more removal packed in, actually. Molten Collapse. This is a 2 mana sorcery speed, rocking those Rakdos colors up there. I think sorcery speed will slow this down, but if it was instant speed, it would be a little bit too ridiculous, if that makes sense, because these are some pretty good abilities here. You get to choose one, but if you descended this turn, you get to choose both instead. Destroy target creature or planeswalker, nice, or, I guess, and or, depending on if you descended, destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less. Okay, interesting, right? I'm definitely interested to see how much this is actually going to do today. Should this just be a go for the throat instead? Maybe. I'll tell you what, if you don't have the Molten Collapse, this is a rare, and that's pretty unnecessary if you don't have it. Like, it's probably not worth the craft. At that point, you just want to go up the go for the throat. But we do have a relatively even split. Actually, look at that. If you go up some go for the throat, it'll be even closer to an even split, which is why I have an even split over here in the mana base too. hey, while we're talking about the mana-based Crucible, Abandoned Mire, opting for our fast land, except for Restless Vents. Because guess what? When you power up that Restless Vents, it's a 2/3 black and red insect creature with Menace. Nice, fitting that theme. Also, the Restless lands have been going a very long way for me. There are a lot of Sunfall builds floating about all the time, so just, you're plugging a bunch of damage through. The opponent drops the board wipe, and you still have land to swing through next turn anyways. It feels pretty good. The Restless lands have been awesome. Also, when this attacks, you may discard a card if you do draw a card. Extra filtering always goes a long way too, so... All right, the top end of the build, we have Phyrexian Fleshgorger, looking at that prototype cost for 3 mana. It's a 3/3. And then it has Menace, Lifelink, and then, of course, the Ward, a life equal to Phyrexian Fleshgorger's power. Very powerful creature, dude. Holy cow. That's a lot of menacing creatures, and we do have a way to buff them all up in this build with Imodane's Recruiter. So we stack the board with menacing creatures, we drop Imodane's Recruiter, we full swing, and we're happy about it. So this is a 3 mana, 2/2. When it ETBs, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. Nice. When we played that night build with the Imodane's Recruiter and the Oathsworn, and I believe we had another menacing creature as a 1-drop in that night build too, I was like, oh man, I really want to try just a full-on menace build with the Recruiter because it happened to be really good. It was just a terrific line of play every time. Now, the adventure side here is 4 and a white. It's sorcery speed. You create 2/2 white knight creature tokens with vigilance. We don't have any white mana in here, but we do have the Goldhound. So every now and then, I suppose you'll want to do the train troops, but honestly, probably not often. We're really just looking at Imodane's Recruiter as the creature side of this, not the adventure side. Also rocking Volt Charge here, 3 mana, instant speed. Volt Charge deals 3 damage to any target. That's important to be able to hit the opponent's face for sure. And then Proliferate. So since we do have so many counters flying about here, right, we can get the counters on the Ashen Reaper, counters on the Oathsworn. We got the counters on the Stalactite Stalker, the second ability on Kumano giving us counters too. The Proliferate could really go a long way, and honestly, the main reason it's in here is because of that Oathsworn. Every step getting closer to like the 4 counters on this, grab literally whatever you want out of the deck, exactly what you need in that scenario. This sounds really good to me, man. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how much Volt Charge does today. Do we just want Lightning Strike instead? Maybe, because maybe 3 mana is just a little bit too much. Speaking of the mana, I know I already went over it, but we do have 23 in here. I do think that's going to be enough. Honorable mentions, guys. Okay, what do we got over here? We got Rotisserie Elemental. That could easily take the place of Goldhound. I put together the honorable mentions like last week, so I've tried to remember exactly why I had these in here. Oh, the counters. That's right. That's right. Yeah, I thought about leaning further into the Proliferate side of things here, so that could have been neat. I don't think so for this build, though. But yeah, if we went that whole extra Proliferate mile, then sure. Same thing with Drown in Ichor here. Go for the throw I brought up. Do we just want this instead of Molten Collapse? Maybe, but it's going to be interesting at the very least to try out the Molten Collapse. Transmogrant Crown almost made the cut. I do think it would be pretty decent in here because this going on to a menacing creature is already pretty good. When that creature dies, you draw a card. Extra card draw goes the extra mile, man. We don't have a lot of card draw in here in general. Fighting Palm Ninja could be a really sick 3 mana card in here. However, with the ninjutsu, I don't really know what we'd want to bounce back to our hand for that ninjutsu, especially when I'd rather just get counters on all this stuff, you know what I mean? Here's Warcrafting almost made the cut at the very least as a one-of. Looks like I had the Haunted Ridge over here to remind myself that, yeah, we're running the fast land. Haunted Ridge is not in here, and hopefully the Pain Land doesn't do too much damage to us. Okay, guys, for some reason that took me forever to go over. Let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, and see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game here. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? Funny enough, I'm expecting less than what I was expecting from the mono white weenie build from yesterday. I actually think it's going to be a little bit janky, but oh no, the mana. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, this would have been a sick hand if we had a black source. We should mulligan, right? Yeah, we should. I shouldn't try that. Oh, much better. Probably the Volt Charge. Keep the mana. Or keep 2 mana. Maybe we could keep 2 mana. That's fine. That's a tough decision, though. The opponent dropped us a hello. Let's ditch the pain land. Hello, opponent. Yeah. We have a better chance of seeing land than something else that we'd want to see, and we don't want to take the pain damage too early on when we don't know what we're up against. Well, Rafine's Tower. Esper is scary, dude. We have to anticipate removal, but we gotta try that Blade of the Oni. At the very least, it doesn't get picked up by Go for the Throat, so... You know what it could be, though? Make Disappear. It lands. Okay, Go for the Throat doesn't hit it. Oh no. Oh no, get lost. Hey, a couple map tokens, though. That could really do a thing in this build. Kumano flips. Okay. We got our value out of Kumano. That was decent at least. Like, we tried. That could have been a 4-2 menace, which is pretty scary. Oathsworn comes down. Let's start with the swing. See what happens. Okay. Oathsworn and map token. And then Volt Charge with that Oathsworn is going to be sick. Oathsworn already has a huge target on his back, guys. Okay. I guess. It's still a lot better to put on the Oathsworn, though. Fleshgorger. We don't got the double black, so I'm sending it. If we draw that next turn, it could potentially be a dead card in hand for like 5 turns in a row or more, or the whole game, right? So, yeah, we're sending it. That's really good, though. Oh, depopulate. Oh, no, guys. Oh, Stalactite Stalker. I forget how I pronounced this last time. I forget, man. It was funny, though. Hopefully I'm saying it right this time. Oathsworn. Keep it. I'll keep it. Yeah, we could have sent it and got the Descend, though. Right? Yeah, we could have Descended, but I like seeing the creatures on the top. What can I say, you know? Alright, I guess we start with the swing, see what their Wandering Emperor does. It's easy to forget on some of these creatures that they have menace, right? So they could accidentally go for the 2-2, think it's blocking, but then the menace gets through anyways or something. Depopulate number 2 opponent. Aw, man. You know what? They lose 1 life. No, we should save it. We should save it because the second they get a Planeswalker down, that's when the Invasion of Azgol has to come down. Oh, wow. Imodane's Recruiter is pretty good, man. Yeah, we'll give it a shot, I'd say. Swinging for 4, potentially. If it gets through, that's pretty good. Urtai. That actually gives us a draw, so that's not terrible for us. Some land. Okay. Mana flips next turn. We do have the Invasion. Another 2-drop would be good. Our Volt Charge is just chilling in hand, but they could easily be a way to wrap up this game if we can figure out a way to actually start dealing some damage. Jace. Okay. Okay, that might be their main win condition, guys. Oh, wow. Invasion of Azgol. That would have been so good, dude. We could have doubled down. Got rid of both of their things. Hopefully Etching can still hit the Jace, though, which is what we want to start with then, right? Because if we go Invasion first, well, we could try to flip it, get some damage through to it, right? No. No, yeah, we swing at Jace, see what they do. They still have 2 mana open here, too. Get lost. Couple map tokens. It's not bad. Let's see where they end up sacrificing. Target player. I wonder, it's Urtai, right? They want to keep their Jace around. And then before they get any value off of Jace, they go -X for 1, or they go +1 for nothing. Okay, I'll actually hold the Volt Charges for their turn, because if they end up using a counter on a Volt Charge, there's a chance that we draw a creature and maybe that won't get countered. Yeah, they go +1 on Jace. They don't get anything fancy for that. All right, let's take out the Jace. As much as I'd love to flip this Invasion, yeah, they let the Volt Charge go through. Submit 0. We don't want more defense counters on that. Funny enough.
A minor setback to Phyrexian.
And land. So we can't even use our map tokens without a creature out there. Volt Charge open to hit the opponent's face. Maybe if we let Jace survive and we just went Volt Charges to face. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Wandering Emperor has to die, right? They do this. They still get the ability. Even if we put... But, I mean, it's got to die, yeah. They still get to go for the ability on top of this, though. Good for that -1. Yeah, it still has to die, I'd say. Worthwhile, they're tapped out. I think that is a Planeswalker worth protecting with a counterspell, too. So, let's see what's on top, and then potentially give it to the opponent, because it could take a while. Woo! Well, we keep drawing things that are giving me just a little bit of hope, man. Let's see. If it's a counter or removal for the recruiter, we'll give it to the opponent, because yeah, it could take a while for them to drain the 15 health. Okay, well it landed that they have 4 cards in hand. Get lost. More map tokens. Okay. We'll give it to the opponent. We've had crazier comebacks, but with decks that are probably more sustainable, right? Oh wow, they're going fast. Yeah, it's some land anyways. Drop them the GGs. I don't even know where the concede button is, guys. That was a rough time. The double to populate was brutal, and it's something to expect from the meta right now, for sure. Triple get lost, that was a lot to deal with. Yeah, the Urtai, that counter worked out in their favor quite nicely too. Just hardcore control, and it really worked out for them. Okay, but our deck also did a thing. All these menacing creatures, they kind of feel like they're pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of feel like they're gonna do the thing once they're allowed to do the thing. So yeah, we'll see. All right, opponent, what you bringing to the table, buddy? Oh my. Oh my. Oh? Do I like this? Okay. I'm keeping this. Dude, this might not be bad at all. Do I start with Kumano and then a couple Goldhounds next turn? Or do I start with Goldhound in case we find like a turn 2 Phyrexian Fleshgorger would be absolutely gnarly. All right, we don't find one off the top anyways, but still, that could have been really good, right? Okay, I get this down. We go for the swing. Kumano, and that'll buff the 3rd Goldhound when it comes time. Okay, establishing our menacing board state. Celestis, okay. We potentially have more control to deal with over there, guys, which is pretty scary. Another Kumano. That's not bad, dude. I don't mind it at all. And technically we could go Volt Charge, but I'm going to save that for next turn. We have the swing. Playing everything out just to see that it wasn't like a Spell Pierce or anything. No cut down, okay. No Black Source over there from the opponent yet anyways. Should I have played around a board wipe? Nah. Commando's gonna flip. We're fine. Sunfall. Crap. Should I have played around a board wipe? Yes. But everything's fine, man. Everything's fine. So if we would have Volt Charged the last turn, we would have lost the Commandos too, so... Okay, we can have that come down tapped. We are going to want to flip the other Kumano. Oh man, this board state would have been insane. Got great damage coming through, but we got a little bit too much mana this game, I'd say. Hopefully we can pull this back, but depopulate. Oh my goodness. Hey. At this rate, we might as well wait for 7 mana. Now I'm just teasing. Let's get everything on this board. Phyrexian Fleshgorger, what you thinking? You think you're gonna survive? What I love about the menacing creatures is it's not that easy to chump. You know what I mean? They can be truly menacing, which I love. Depopulate. Opponent. Molten Collapse does take care. See, destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less. Incubator. Cool. That's pretty neat, actually. It's sorcery speed, so... But, like, there's probably going to be a better target than the Incubator token. And it is going to become a creature, so then we won't actually be able to target it anymore. But it's like I said, yeah, see, Teferi, that's, yeah. Now, sorcery speed slowing us down a little bit here.
I won't back down.
If we can... Okay, we just find a second one anyways. Well, first of all, we got to take out Teferi, because that gets out of hand really fast.
Truth still eludes me.
It's not going to switch back to daytime. We could go Molten Collapse on the Incubator before it's out on the board, but again, there's probably going to be a better Planeswalker to pick up with that. Yeah, the last couple games showcasing why card draw is relatively important in these builds too, right? The triple board wipe is rough to say the least, but boy, were we establishing something great. We really were. Celestis, they do get it back to daytime, gain a little bit more life here. Phyrexian Atlas. Oh, Restless Vents. That would have been so good early on. Whenever we played the other Blackcleave Cliffs tapped, that would have been the best time for the Restless Vents. And I'm still going to save the Molten Collapse for a Planeswalker over the 3/3, especially since this has Menace too. So Phyrexian Atlas, 3 mana artifact. You can tap it to add 1 mana of any color. Corrupted. Whenever Phyrexian Atlas becomes tapped, each opponent who has 3 or more poison counters loses 1 life. Interesting. Interesting. It's a common, so this could also just be a budget option for like an extra Celestis style ability. Celestis is legendary too, where... Oh, the Poison White Sun's Twilight. Okay. Okay. So that's a lot of board wipes packed into that build, man. Oh my goodness. So we're going to start swinging. None of these can block. Unfortunately, they gained a ton off of the White Sun's Twilight, which is probably the nail in the coffin. But we'll start with the swing. And you know what? I'll get rid of the Molten Collapse because I think we're dead regardless. Ooh, Stalactite Stalker. Okay, I'll play some creatures. I'll get some creatures down over the invasion. Taking a bunch of poison damage here. They have Blast Zone too. That could be scary. No blocks. Looks like the opponent will actually be able to wrap up the game this time round too, so that'll be good. Phyrexian Fleshgorger. Yeah, man. Yeah, the deck has some powerful creatures packed in. We just actually have to be allowed to keep some stuff. Hopefully we don't go up against more control, because I'd love to showcase this against like an aggressive build too. They still have all open mana, guys. That's scary business. Either way, they have 6, 5, so we do survive with a double block next turn. So they want to remove one of these. And if they do, that's game. And we'll let them swing on in. I bet control players don't get to swing on in too often. Oh, the Blast Zone removes it. Yeah, that's right. That's right, because it's had the 1 counter already. GG opponent. Yeah, I just talked about that Blast Zone. Because of that, we lost 1 life too. I wonder if the Phyrexian Atlas is in here because, like, sometimes they really struggle getting the poison through. But, like, they still end up getting a little bit of poison through, and then they can just play the long game and continuously tap down the Phyrexian Atlas. I actually like that opponent. That's a neat addition. GG. All right, guys, 25 minutes in. Oh, buddy, we got time for more. Let's do this. Some decks that I would like to try this out against. Of course, mono red. Like, I'd love to get a mono red match in, like, every video, because they're really fast, and then you're going to see mono red a lot anyways. So if you end up, like, making the deck or something, you know, it'd be nice to know what to expect. A little bit, at least, right? Because usually a lot of testing is required against those individual decks. Why do I feel like there's more control on the other side of the table here, guys? I feel like I should be concerned. This is a lot of mana. Let's give it a shot. This isn't bad. It isn't great, but it isn't bad. Kumano comes down. Kumano's been doing a lot overall. As a 3 of in here, it actually feels like there's more. Invasion, we should definitely wait until they have something to take care of. It did play a mountain over there, but without a turn 1, it's probably not mono red. I'll play with fire. The Stalactite Stalker is out of the equation. Kumano flips next turn. Imodane's Recruiter could come down. We do have a good swing there. It is going to be some mono red. Dude, nice. At that point, yeah, we're kind of like one step behind the mana here, which feels a little awkward. Could let the Feldon survive a turn. Yeah, one step behind the mana, guys. Nah, we should take out the Feldon while we can before they get something better. Like a Phoenix Chick would be a great sacrifice for them. And instead of swinging face, I'm going to focus on the Invasion, because I think we can flip that next turn successfully. Because if they play something, it's probably going to have haste and swing at our face anyways. Like that, right? And then we have a clear swing at that Invasion, giving us an extra creature. We go a long way against mono red. Recruitment. So Molten Collapse probably needs to take care of that squee. We could do we could do both things if we play. Okay, that's not. Oh no, we can't. No, we can't. No, we can't. This is a 3-mana card. Guys, what on earth? What am I thinking? I don't want to. I don't want to spam out Recruiter unless I have to. So let's play our tapped land. Let's flip the Invasion. And let's take care of that squee. And also, I suppose, make sure... Yeah, they don't have enough yet anyways. And then this will put a counter on the Ashen Reaper. I wanted to make sure they couldn't just play out the squee with their 4th mana next turn. But yeah, not enough has died yet. They do find their 4th mana, though. Godric, okay. Swing with that Godric. That's a great trade for us. Right? You know what? I'm gonna risk it. I feel like that's a good trade. They still have 3 in hand, too. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Blade of the Oni. Any 2-drop creature would have been great here. But Blade of the Oni, I'll tell you what. This is really good, dude. This is really good. That has Menace, so... They take it. Down to 4. Okay, can we survive the turn, guys? Can we survive? They have Mishra's Foundry, Godric. Those could both be 4. Okay, Godric's going in the air. Wicked Roll. They need a mana now to power up the Foundry. That's 7. They need 5 damage here, guys. So Lightning Strike doesn't do it. Bloodthirsty Adversary, that doesn't do it. They need to save some blockers back. They go for the swing. We're alive. We got there. Let's go. I was going to say I won't take the time to play Blade of the Oni, but... Very nice, dude. That was sick. Actually seeing all that extra mana really came in handy because we were able to do Blade of the Oni and Recruiter on the same turn, give it that haste. The Menace just, oh man, it always goes the extra mile. Menacing is always way better than you'd imagine. You know what I mean? So, woo. 30 minutes in, and we still got time for more games. So let's do this. Feeling good. I mean, the deck is still, we want to call the deck janky, right? It's still pretty janky overall, I'd say, especially against those control builds. Like we want to keep something, at least a little bit of something established, so the board wipes are extra devastating to this build. And like, yeah, things like Blade of the Oni with the reconfigure kind of sort of play around board wipes, but that's a lot of mana to get to that too. So, but so far it feels fun, which is realistically all that matters. Probably on the do not craft list though, based on like Blade of the Oni's mythic. We got a mythic in the Phyrexian Fleshgorger too. Actually, I'm curious how budget the list is now. Curious to see what it looks like. A counterspell would be really bad, but if it's just to go for the throat, I'll tell you what, Blade of the Oni is a survivor, dude. No go for the throat for the Oni. Oh, cut down hits it though. Anoint with Affliction. Is this gonna be another poison build? We've been seeing the Mire poison, and it's actually pretty scary, man. Draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. Each opponent gets a poison counter. Okay, we gotta go. We gotta go now. Is there any way we could go faster with this hand? No, we have to take the time to stick, right? Invasion of Azgol, not doing too much against this one, I'd say. Vraska's Fall, great way to get around the ward cost. Stalactite Stalker would have been much better last turn, as we could have done Stalker and Oni. That's still the play this turn though, right? Yeah, the like kind of one mana behind, or we're not using our mana optimally on our turns, unfortunately, but I still think we're doing the correct plays, or the best optimized plays, hopefully. Yeah, we want to spam a couple creatures down, that way we have an option if it's another Vraska's Fall, which is very, like, when we go up against these lists, dude, like, they're just stacked. Oh, Path of Peril. I think that's it, guys. I think that's it for us. We can keep Volt Charge open. Stalker, pretty good draw. Like, yeah, we're drawing well. Volt Charge is open now. Okay, Distorted Curiosity. Draw 2 cards for 1 mana. Eric's comes down. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Okay, alright, even though the Proliferate doesn't do anything, we'll go ahead and use our mana. Maybe they counter this, and maybe we see a creature off the top that we wouldn't mind playing. And it's 0. Land. Ew. Okay, wait. Where do we want to... Do we want to play Invasion and start swinging at it? Dude, we're in trouble. Alright. We'll start swinging at one of the invasions, because the opponent... These builds do run creatures, but they're probably the only creature in the build. The one where if it's in the grave and you proliferate, you can like bring it back to your hand or whatever. Yeah, those ones. This sure feels like removal. And we want to play it out too, especially since these poison builds actually don't take too long to get the poison through, which is actually pretty nice. You know, as opposed to some other control decks where it could potentially take a while, or they only have like one win condition in. These control builds here with the poison, the win condition is the whole deck. Like every card that you're controlling with is also helping you win the game, which is actually really neat. Okay, up to 5. Need to see something terrific off the top. They still have 6 cards in hand, 4 mana open. Phyrexian Fleshgorger. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, dude. That's still relatively hard to remove. So we could have them sacrifice their Phyrexian Might, but now we have a good blocker into it. They're not generating another one off the Mirex. You know what? It's still probably worth playing, though, right? While we have the open mana. Because it's still 1 damage to the opponent's face, or 1 life loss. And at that point, do we just swing at face instead? Because we could go Fleshgorger to flip the invasion. This brings them down to 10. Maybe I should have just swung at face last turn, too. Experimental Augury. We could die next turn, guys, easily. I bet. I bet, dude, because they got so much mana. We're going up to 6 poison. Wait a minute. Oh, proliferating onto these 2. Yeah. They can proliferate the defense counters onto our cards. Okay, let's see it, opponent. Drown in Ichor. That's 8 poison. These look scary, dude. Oh, they're passing it back. Oh, they only need 2 poison, though. Land was a pretty bad draw. I'm actually surprised that we didn't perish there. Maybe they needed a creature to target, right? Maybe their other proliferate is just more drowns or something. We do have a block into that, at least, unless they bounce this. Yep, looks like they needed more. Oh, we could have activated the Stalker's ability, guys. Right? Target creature. I kind of clicked through that on accident. Either way, I think we were going to die. I think that was the opponent's regardless. We would have just been prolonging the inevitable there. So we could have paid 3, sacked it, -X, where X is the power. And then we got rid of their 1/1, and then their card would have fizzled out too, so they wouldn't have got the proliferate. So yeah, that would have been the ideal play, but I don't know about that one, guys. Oh man, these control builds, huh? One more match, let's do this. What else? What other decks do I want to see? Let's go. Let's see if we dinos. Okay, opponent, let's try dinos. Let's see if that's what they end up bringing to the table here. Wow. It's a great hand, right? Right, dude? Yeah, this is sick. Oh, buddy. Actually, I'm going to skip my turn 1 and get the Restless Vents down. Maybe the Vents can do a thing this game. Commune with Spirits? I don't think this is going to be dinos, guys. This is going to be scary, scary Celestia enchantments, probably. Wow, Restless Prairie. Luckily, like the Molten Collapse, that should help go a long way against enchantments. Okay, so we'll get the Goldhound down. Get the Kumano down. Imodane's Recruiter isn't too bad. It's not a lot of extra damage, but at least it's a nice hasty creature. Buffs the Goldhound too. Gets that counter on it as well. Recruiter, since it's getting the counter, will not trade in to the Kami of Transience. Yeah, let's do this. A great swing. 6 damage coming through. Kumano flips next turn. This time round, guys, we gotta definitely make sure we target their life gain with these Molten Collapses. I made a terrible, terrible mistake in a recent video, letting a Naturalist survive. And it ran away with the game, so Naturalist has got to die. Jings. Soften it all up. Kami of Transience could be dangerous in no time. With Chump Blocker, they actually save it all back, dude. Wow. Okay. Right. So Kami of Transient, like if we take out both of these. Oathsworn, the Menace is so good. It's gotta be Collapse on the Naturalist, right? If we could descend for the turn off of the Goldhound, destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent. Oh, mana value 1 or less, though. This is a 2-mana card that they played for 1 mana, unfortunately. I apologize, opponent. I am thinking, buddy. The Naturalist has to go, right? And we just set up for the turn? I think so. I think so. Set up with a creature for the turn. Like, there's a chance we see another Recruiter or something off the top, which would be pretty sick. A double block here would mean a trade into the Spirit. Yeah, no, we don't do it. We hold it all back. I think setup there is better than... Maybe we could have cheesed the Goldhound damage through. Maybe. I don't know about that, though. I don't think so. Yeah, maybe they would have thought there was a combat trick in hand. Immune with Spirits. Immune with Spirits is kind of an underplayed one in these Selesnya enchantment builds, right? I think so. Wow, Nether Teachings. Get more chump blockers down. Works really well against the Menace theme. Oh, they're going to wait for next turn, actually. Yeah, because the Kami's buff so much off of these. Teachings flips next turn, too. We're in trouble. Imodane Recruiter. Holy cow, that's good. Right? Right? Do we do that? Or do we take out Kami of Transience? Or we take out Kami of Transience and we play the Recruiter. These are tough decisions, man. I don't want to lose the Goldhound, but man, this is a great swing. Right? It's a good swing. And we want to take out their chunky Kami of Transience before the swing. In other words, they had great double blocks too. At this point, like, Ayara's Oathsworn's probably getting through. They're going to chump. They're taking a ton of damage here, man. Holy cow. We might be able to pull this off. If they're taking that damage, they might have like a Catilda or something in hand, some kind of life gain that they're going to be banking on. But Restless Vents powers up next turn. A couple pieces of removal could be devastating. There's one. Take out that Oathsworn. If they have another ossification... Okay, Teachings of Korean. I was going to say, a second ossification would heavily lean this towards the opponent, I would say. They want to keep all the blockers back for sure. Ayara's Oathsworn. Wow, wow. Menace is good. Do we just swing, though? We just keep swinging and we don't look back? Menace needs double blocked, and then any other damage that gets through, gets through. Have good blocks, though. Let's just keep swinging. I think if we don't do something now, the opponent could start bringing this back. I'm going to decline because Oathsworn is at the very least a creature that we wouldn't mind having on the table. Block and double block the land, right? And then, but that's 4 coming through, so... Yeah, the menace on the Restless Vents. So they might take the 2, block everywhere else, but then the chumps are terrific. It's a tough decision for the opponent. And this isn't that bad. We lose a 3/3, but we get them down to 2 and they only have 1 creature on the board. Yeah. That's good. That was a Math is for Blockers turn. They thought it through very nicely. That was good. It worked out for us. I think that swing was excellent. Guys, I think we just won. Oh, wow. That's pretty good too, right? But the Menace, the 2 gets through unless they double block it, but then the other creatures are getting through. I'm actually going to keep Crucible. They dropped the GGs. Good game, opponent. 2 gets through with the Restless Vents. Let's go, guys. Holy cow. These are some fun matches. This was a good time. Last 2 videos, this is one of my recording days. I did the mono white weenie list and then this Rakdos, menacing Rakdos. All the games have been so good today. Holy cow. Menacing Rakdos. Good time, good time. yeah, hopefully for this week, I've been thinking things out a little bit more clearly. I know the holiday vids. I don't like excuses, but like I know I was very busy over the holidays, so there were some very questionable misplays or judgment calls on my end, which I had to apologize for. But yeah, no, hopefully I'm thinking things through a little bit more clearly this week. I think so far. I think I've been doing all right, which is awesome. And outside of that, dude, I'm just so happy with how good the games have been going too. Win or lose, I think I've still been losing more than I've been winning for the week, but like they've been really good matches, you know what I mean? So you can't complain too much at that point. Molten Collapse was fine. Would it have still been doing the thing as go for the throat? Technically, no, because we were hitting a lot of planeswalkers with this too. The control decks were really, really brutal, but control decks are always brutal. What could we add or take out to help with that whole control nonsense? I have no idea. Let me know in the comments if you got any ideas. Fleshgorger, man. This is really hard to keep on the board for some reason. I could see dropping down to 3 of these, actually. What would I go up? I don't know. If you go up more removal, that could be fine, but less creatures could be really bad too, because all of your creatures are getting removed anyways. We saw how like important seeing creatures off the top actually is against like that mono red list, against the last list there too, Selesnya. Like you need creatures. If you drop a Fleshgorger, that is technically less creatures. But this is actually really hard to get on the board and keep on the board. But yeah, that's just something I could easily see 3 of these. Do we want to put this on the do not craft list? Probably, but if you got the cards laying around, this was a fun one, man, especially if you like Rakdos. And I know a lot of Rakdos players also like the whole menacing concept too, so. But yeah, like outside of that, it's pretty expensive, right? Stalker's rare, Blade of the Oni's mythic, Fleshgorger's mythic. Molten Collapse is rare. Wait a minute. Oh, Oathsworn's rare too. Okay. Okay, outside of that, all the rare land too. I keep saying this as well. The lands really, like the dual lands are so important. They really just need to make these uncommon or you know what, common. You know what I mean? Like what's the point? Why have them rare? Let's have everybody have mana fixing. Like what's the problem with that? You know what I mean? Then you could still have cards like Restless Vents be rare. That's fine. It's the dual lands that kind of bug me. That like it's so important. Mana fixing's so important. Why is it rare? I can't be alone on that either, right? So yeah, not a very budget friendly list, but like I said, if you got the cards, it was fun. I liked it. I would drop that 1 Fleshgorger, maybe that 4th Kumano. I feel like Kumano did a lot today. It works with the proliferate theme. For some reason, it took me like 9 minutes to go over the build, but I failed to mention that, of course, the proliferate can put extra counters onto Kumano to actually flip this sooner too, which actually could be a crazy aggressive play if you're slamming face with the Volt Charge to the opponent's face, flipping the Kumano, swinging on in. That could do a lot, man, especially if you had any kind of setup too, so... Imodane's Recruiter, proving itself once again. Very powerful creature. Oh, buddy. Yeah, buffing those menacing cards, swinging on in. Menace just goes that extra mile. This is fun. This is a good time. Okay, hey, guys. If you're interested, there's a Discord link down in the description, and then also a Patreon link. Definitely check that out if you want to support the channel. It's definitely one of the best ways, or the quite possibly the best way to support the channel, of course, outside of just watching the videos through. And then over on the Patreon, I always bring this up, but like the best reason to join is, of course, to, well, 1, support the channel, but 2, we have the patron suggestions, and I always prioritize those patron suggestions over all the other suggestions. That being said, I still look at all the other suggestions too. Still check out the Discord suggestions for sure, and I check out the comment suggestions too. I love to build around anything that you guys give me. I love to build around challenges too. So, okay, guys. If you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see y'all in the next video.